Hello again.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello, guys. We are charting the higher octave with the band The Neuro Farm, all the way from Washington, D.C. And I've got Rebekah, who's the vocalist and violin player. Okay, let me just go down here. I got Brian there, and I got Tim and Colin. All right. And you guys are all the way in Washington, D.C., which is one of my favorite places to go because they have great restaurants and food. And I know it's kind of late. I mean, it's not really late. There's early evening. Yeah. But thank you for joining me. First time I heard of the band name, I automatically knew, oh, these guys must be really smart. Just because of the name, I love I love the neurosciences. I'm
Oh,
just
you do?
just guessing what this is about. I want to start out with asking you, like, to tell us about how you came up with the name.
Well, so Brian and I were actually in the same neuroscience PhD program together. So
Oh,
that's how the band started.
Yeah.
oh,
And
wow, really?
yeah, do you want to say like how you came up with the name?
I guess it was from when I was back in college. I studied neuropharmacology, so kind of called it Neurofarm for short. But yeah,
Oh,
just to make it cool.
so you guys are doctors?
Mhm.
Yep.
That's amazing. Yeah, you know what? I've always, you know, I guess people who are not in the goth culture, they have no idea where goth people, what are goth people, and what are they just a bunch of people that just listen to music all night and all day? They don't have a job, that kind of thing. So there's a bad misconception, right? And it's good to know we got corporate goth, we've got doctors, we've got everybody, right? So mixed bag, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, like when we think about our band name, we think of brains growing out of a farm, and it's kind of has that dystopian feel to it.
Even in the medical field, because there's so much studies now on the brain and strokes and things like that, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a really important field. I mean, so that's great. How do you guys manage to do your music and then do that, your neural work?
Neuroscience. Well, with difficulty, well, we are lucky to have Tim and Colin helping us, and Tim does all of our graphics, and
Yeah, good, great job.
yeah, Tim is a really good graphics designer. Actually, I'll let you talk. He's actually very talkative.
Oh no,
Tim,
no. Well, I think for all of us is that our the day jobs that we're able to, we work remotely and we're able to,
Yeah.
free up the time of, instead of commuting back and forth to offices or science buildings, that we're able to really put the effort into writing music, getting together and rehearsing music, and it frees us up to be able to do all sorts of things by not having, we have our 9 to 5 jobs, but then
Yeah.
and those jobs,
Balancing everything.
work the night job, if you will. That's, if we want to consider writing and performing music as a night job, but it really helps out.
Well, you guys started out, was it in 2011? Would that be the time that you guys started before that?
So Brian and I, we were just jamming together when we were grad students together, and we gave that operation a name. So that's when the name
Love
came
that.
about.
That
But
operation, the name. That's so cool.
but it wasn't quite a real band yet.
Yeah.
And then we recruited Colin in 2017, and that's when the band became a real band, and we started performing. And then
Oh.
Tim joined the band in 2020.
Yeah, just
2020.
the kind of the start of the well, I say start, but pretty early into the pandemic and shutdown, that these guys were already working on the Vampire album a bit, and then recruited me to come in and do synth and production stuff. So, and then 4 years later, I'm still here.
Yeah, no, I mean, you guys are tight, with just putting it all together, tight as a band. So, Blissful Isolation, that's your debut album, right? That came out in 20. So it's more like just you two at at that time, right? It was early
Yes.
stages.
Yeah, it was more like, um, we were just jamming and it wasn't very serious, but we just wanted to record something, so it seemed more like a real thing and more than just a side hobby. But back then we didn't even think we would be playing shows. It was just like a side thing that we did while we were grad students together. But yeah, and then all of a sudden it's a real band, and now we have fans that are not our friends, which is
Oh yeah, you guys are great. I mean, I'm a fan too, I mean, I love your music, and I'm so glad that you reached out. So and then I know Ghost is your second album that came out in 2014, and then The Descent, and then Vampires, and then you're having another one coming out pretty soon, right?
yeah, that's actually our announcement. We just finished the album. It's in
Oh, right.
yeah. Actually, I'll let Tim talk about the
Oh,
new
I mean,
album.
these are songs that were basically written and recorded over the last 2 years, and some ideas. Like once we wrapped up Vampire, it feels like Vampire is so long ago now for us, but we've been primarily playing Vampire songs live now for the last few years, and these were new ideas that coming from different places, different demo ideas or different germs of ideas were out there, and yeah, we spent the last year and a half plus, I think, finally crafting these songs together and figuring out what this was going to be. And so we can, I guess we can make the announcement that the title is called Voices, and there's the subject matter, and Rebekah, I will also defer to you this.
Okay, so
on the lyrical subject matter, I mean, Vampire, there was a story involved in that. It was sung from various different viewpoints, where voices is more you could say, just I guess, different conditions of mental states and different I think the voices and I think the voice that's in these songs are very individual and very from an individual standpoint, and not a grand story overall. It's more of,
Mhm.
here are points of view, but really internally, the things, the voices in your head, the things that and what drives you to do certain things. And I, not to go through, like, when I go through a whole track list of what every song's about, but that's the general idea behind the new album. And we feel it's a slight departure from the more gothic, I guess you could say, the gothic romantic sort of sound of Vampire, where it is a lot more lush and again, telling more of a story throughout the
Oh,
journey.
okay. So
This is
it's kind of like, is it kind of like a concept album?
So yeah, I mean, that's what Vampire was, very much a concept album, but where this I think we just focused on the songs and the content of the individually, and didn't have to necessarily connect one to another. But once we finished it and once we put the sequence together, there's actually a lot more connections, at least listening to it now. And lyrically, there's just, the songs are very different from each other on this album. There isn't again, not a story is continuing from song 1 to song 10. This is, we feel like, is a really strong collection of individual ideas or individual points of view that we're very excited about. I mean, it's just, some friends who heard some leaks, they're loving it. So it makes us feel good that I think people are gonna really enjoy it.
So Panic and Metamorphosis is the two of the songs on the album, right? So
Yes.
when are you releasing, like officially releasing it?
We have this sort of tentative dates in mind, but it's gonna be in the fall. It's gonna be this fall. It's gonna be
Oh,
coming.
good. I'm looking forward to it. Voices.
Yeah. We were just wrapping up mastering and then getting work together. So it's gonna be something that's gonna come out in the next few months.
And how many tracks?
10.
10. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm excited.
Yeah, I guess this is our official announcement because we haven't really announced
thank
it.
you.
So Yeah.
Yeah, we
I'm-
put the singles out and just said from a forthcoming release, but we didn't, even when we put those out, we weren't sure when it was gonna be finished or even exactly what we were gonna call the album or anything
Yeah,
like that.
no, that's why I'm glad that, I know we've been trying to connect to this interview, right? And it's a good thing we put it on hold and we waited about now to make the announcement. So it's a very smart move. Yeah. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
thank
it's
you.
official. It's
Yeah.
coming out in the fall. And our tentative release date, we haven't quite decided yet, but it may be on August 30th because we're playing a Murder of Crows festival on that day. So that may be our
Murder of Crows is where is that going to be at?
Oh, that's New York City.
Oh, okay, okay. So
Yeah.
are you gonna be like, I mean, do you anticipate any tour like in the future?
Mhm.
We have, how many, we have shows in the fall that kicks off with the Murder of Crows that will go from August through and then into, I think we still in
Late November.
late November.
Yeah.
So we have shows booked already. We have a number of those. We haven't announced them all. But there's a few that have been announced by the individual promoters for some of those shows, but we're going to do a collective announcement along with the official announcement of the album.
Yeah,
very
I mean,
soon.
you guys should tour like California, the places like that. Yeah, I think that'd be great. I think people would really love you guys. Have you guys played there before in San
No.
Francisco? Yeah. Well, you know what? I think you guys got to do it. I think you're gonna do really well.
Yeah, we'd love to.
Yeah, we're going out to, I think we're getting out to the Midwest, but we're kind of central time, but we're not quite past that. Like on the current tour, at least on the one that we have that's coming up in
Well,
fall.
you're first of all, I love the violin and the voice, just the vampires gave me chills.
Oh, thank you so
And
much.
so in Hawaii, I used to I used to run an event called Miss Vamp Hawaii. It's a vampire beauty pageant.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Yeah, and it ran for about 7, 8 years. This is way before the pandemic. And if see, I know Vampire came out in 2021, but if it was around back in the day, I would be playing it because it's really so beautiful. I would be playing it on stage as the vampire contestants were coming out of the, out on the stage. It's like a pageant.
Are you gonna revive it? Are you gonna revive that pageant now that we're?
Yeah, I would like to. It's a very hard. It's a lot of work, we put that through. Yeah.
It's a lot of work. Yeah, you've been putting any organized event, and music festivals, any kind of festival.
Oh yeah.
Too much work to do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even doing an event. I mean, the promotion, making the flyers, making the posters, putting it out in social media. That's another thing. Everything in social media is changing now with the algorithms and things like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm so glad that you're making this announcement, and I'm glad you're you're moving forward and doing a new album. And I love your cover of the new Dawn Fades. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
Thanks.
Great job. So who's singing that?
That was me.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it was a great job.
Thanks. That's when we do that one pretty consistently in our live set, and
Yeah,
always seems to go over. It seems well received by
yeah.
just about any audience. So we
Yeah.
really enjoyed making that one our own.
Yeah. So are you gonna put that in the album?
We released it like basically as part of a compilation, but it's not. I think for the albums, we just keeping it all to the original music.
Okay.
And then
Because I think if you included that,
yeah,
my opinion, I think a lot of people would like it a lot.
mhm. Yeah, we put it out. I guess technically, as a digital single, we put that out. And then we did a video that we just sort of recorded ourselves. That's on YouTube. We did a performance video to that. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's
Yes, I have. Yes. Yes.
oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, we were pretty happy with how it turned out, considering it was just the four of us putting it together.
Yeah.
So you guys were nominated for Washington D.C.'s Whammy Awards. What can you tell me? Can you tell us what that is?
Oh, it's they call it the Grammys for DC.
Oh, okay. I
So
didn't know that.
Washington makes it the whammies.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not, it doesn't, it sounds like it's a bad connotation. But it's not. Whammy's a bad thing, but no,
Yeah, and so it's sort of like Grammys, in the sense that they have different categories like best rock, best blues, and
That's great. I mean, I always thought about that, you know, because you know the Grammys, right? The Grammys is the Grammys. I mean, when are they gonna make something specific for like the good music? You know what I mean?
not the sold the most. This was the
They
most
gotta,
popular music of the last year. Congrats, everyone.
yeah.
Here's a trophy to go with all your money.
oh, it's so true. So, do you want to tell me like what kind of instruments you each play, just so that people would know?
Hmm. I'll- I
Yeah.
play the electric violin. I also play the cello and the
You also
piano.
play the cello. Wow.
Yeah. So on the new album, I played the cello on one song or two songs. Okay, Banshee. Yeah, and I collaborate with other bands too. And when I collaborate with other bands, it tends to be the cello because it tends to be bands without a bass player, so the cello can serve that purpose as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And you sing.
and I sing.
So, have you ever did voice? Because you have a beautiful voice.
Oh, thank you. For other bands, you mean?
No, I mean like did you train for voice because you sound like just so amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. I've learned on my own.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I really appreciate it. It's so nice.
Yeah, no, I mean that. Yeah, it's so beautiful. I
Um,
mean, it totally was. I throw an event here, a new one. It's called Dies in the Light. So it's a goth night. It's like every fourth Friday of the month, and we have a goth prom coming up. And I'm definitely going to play that because we have a specific time for 2 hours. It's called the Unhappy Hour. So it's going to be more like ethereal and lighter music kind of stuff. You know, that's mesmerizing. So I'll probably play that in that time. We have some
oh,
we have some tarot astrology readers, so it's gonna be kind of like that. It's perfect for the, it's perfect for the song.
yay. On our new album, we have some songs sort of like that too, like very ethereal and pretty but dark.
I love it. You know, one of my favorite record labels of all time is always 4AD.
Mhm.
So whenever I hear that, it kind of reminds me of Lisa Gerard and um the Cocteau Twins, right?
We've had a few people over the years say, in a perfect world, 4AD would be like the perfect label for us to be on, but that's just like speculative, wishful thinking kind of stuff. But a lot of those bands we seem to resonate with fans of in even a little bit.
Yeah, or Project too. You would fit right into with Project.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they have some. I mean, it's kind of like the 4AD of the more current 4AD, I guess you could say.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, 4AD is still around, but the
Sure.
4AD that back in the 80s was like it's like, well, it just
Right.
everybody blew everybody away, right? Even the
Yeah.
covers and all that, the record covers. So this album, are you gonna make it into vinyl?
Yeah, that's the plan right now is to go
Oh,
ahead.
great.
We haven't pressed vinyl for the prior releases, but Vampire, we thought of it, but then we realized it was too long. We would have to cut songs from it, and
Mhm.
and to make it a double album was going to be far too expensive, so we decided not. But for this album, we actually have it sequenced out, so we can press vinyl for this one. It was actually a bit of a conscious decision to keep it short and not have any extra songs on it, so we can fit it.
Yeah. Okay, so and then Brian, so what instruments do you all play? Like who plays the keyboards and all that?
Well, I play guitar.
And sing.
Yeah, I sing too.
Thing?
So yeah, but Brian and Rebekah, I mean, they've been, I mean, since they started Neuro Farm, they've been the primary songwriters and also the vocalist for all the songs. So it's for, I do keyboards and programming and just sort of production stuff, but I certainly do not sing. at all.
Once in a while you do.
Oh, I mean, I could sing to you guys, but in a band.
And how about Colin?
So I'm the drummer in the band, and I've been doing some vocals as well up through the Descent album, mostly like backing vocals and stuff like that. Not so much through Vampire, just that's how the songwriting worked out. But always on standby for vocal things if needed. And I started doing, again, up through Descent was traditional old school acoustic drums. And then right around Vampire tried to, in a very deliberate effort to reduce our playing volume and our stage volume, because we, sometimes we have the kind of issues that are relatively common with loud bands where the stage volume gets so loud where you start having feedback because instruments bleed into the vocal mics, and sound men have trouble controlling that sometimes. They do their best, but it's not an uncommon scenario to have. And so we're trying to reduce our stage volume and preserve our hearing at the same time. So I moved to electronic drums, which resolve a lot of those kinds of problems, and also I think really had lent itself to the song specifically on Vampire. So kind of continuing down that path in electronic percussion, electronic drums, which have really, it's been a learning curve for me. That was something that was kind of new to me, but I really enjoyed it. And there's a lot of opportunity there to get into interesting sounds, and also there's a lot of gear too. So if you're kind of like a gear nerd, which most drummers are, it's another opportunity to explore new instruments and new sounds and have fun with that. So yeah, so anything, drums and percussion, anything having to do with rhythm and generally making a noisy racket is where I'm at.
Wow, congratulations on this new album coming out in the fall. It's called Voices.
Voices. Yeah, we're super excited about it. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is our official announcement.
So do you guys have do you have an idea of what the cover's gonna look like?
Yeah, we have some I could probably, I guess the spoiler of it is gonna be, it's gonna be very similar to the Metamorphosis single cover, but it's gonna be slightly changed up a little bit, and then the rest of the artwork kind of working it into the artwork, I guess, is similar theme. There's a lot sort of that, I don't know, there's a couple of visual things. You got the red and blue, you got the split, thing. So there's a lot of things, you can even think of it as a left side, right side brain, and again with the concept of the album, of a lot of the content, the lyrical content is based on a lot of I guess, I don't know. I wish I had a more succinct way to describe it, because I told Rebekah before we were going to talk about this, it's like, maybe you should talk about the lyrics because I didn't write these lyrics.
So the album art is essentially the same face, but one half is blue, one half is red. And the album, even though these are separate songs, each representing a mental condition, the overall theme is the blurred lines between imagined reality and reality. And that's, going back to what I love about neuroscience, is that truth is often a perception, right? Like, for example, if we see the color red is where the wavelength of 460 nanometers hits the retina. So red is a perception constructed by your consciousness. So anyways, what's always fascinated me, both just in general and also from a scientific perspective, is often what makes these phenomena mental conditions is that there's this intrinsic blurred line between reality and perception, and sometimes they can get blurred. And the album art represents that too.
That's really true. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because there is a blur, because it's like doing meditation, right? I mean, you're going to another reality.
Yeah.
But is it real or not? I mean,
Right.
to you it is, but to other people it may not be. They might not believe you, right?
Yeah, exactly. And often when you're touching things, the atoms are not exactly touching. It's rather the force, that's being picked up by the sensory neurons in your fingers. Then that becomes the sensation in your brain. So, I mean, that's nerd talk, of course, but I picked neuroscience for a reason because I do feel like it's the one field that makes you wiser.
Yeah, especially now with what's going on with AI. This is all about neuroscience.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That,
So
that,
are you
that's a
guys
whole
gonna, are you guys gonna, I don't know if you guys are medical doctors. Are you gonna pursue that career in the future if you're not?
So right now we're scientific review officers at the NIH. So it's actually been a long time since we got our PhD. We're not that young.
Oh, you
But
look
maybe this is the opportunity to announce a future podcast of Neuro Talk.
Yeah.
And,
Oh,
you know,
really?
Oh, I don't know.
Podcast.
You just made it up.
I'm just making it up. I don't know.
You like
But,
to make-
Oh, I was gonna say, when are you
but
gonna do that? I would love to listen. I love topics like that,
man,
where it makes you think and learn.
Mhm.
Yeah, we could.
I'll make some graphics for it. So.
Yeah, the very first time I saw Neuro Farm, I'm going, oh, it's so science. There's a science base and is obviously above, somewhere else. You would have to really, really, it's a intelligent. First thing that came to my mind was that the band is, higher octave. just,
It's
just
funny,
like
sometimes we play shows and meet people and talk to folks
yeah.
and which is always the highlight, right, of any event, just meeting people and mingling and making new friends and all that kind of stuff. But they're always typically pleasantly surprised and sometimes shocked when Brian and Rebekah reveal they actually are scientists. Like,
I know.
the band name does actually reflect something about their backgrounds, and people are always taken aback by that, which is fun to listen in on. It's always revealing. Oh, you guys are really scientists. Okay.
No, I mean, this is the generation for scientists, really. I mean, there's
Yeah,
so many breakthroughs right now going on, It's like
yeah.
it's like a new beginning of breakthroughs.
Mhm.
Yeah, it really is. It's a dawn of a new age.
I
This
completely agree. Yeah, especially with the AI and the
uh,
brain-computer interface now. And the AI is progressing at this
at the
astounding
speed of,
pace.
yeah, just so quickly, right?
Mhm.
I mean, I've noticed that it eliminated some jobs here, like quickly, like parking lot attendants. You rarely see them anymore,
Mhm.
and they're probably doing something better anyway. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, really, I mean,
Yeah.
but it's just going so quickly. But and I think it's just the beginning of it too.
Mhm.
We have a long way to go.
Yeah, for sure. If you just compare last year when ChatGPT was first revealed to the general public, right, to now where AI is integrated into everything.
Yeah, yeah. We have voice recognition, facial recognition, right? Didn't have
Mhm.
that a few like 3 years ago.
Mhm.
Was kind of going there, but not really. Yeah, thank you for sharing that about you guys. So I know a little bit about the band, and I hope I can get to see you guys live somewhere. Um,
We've been trying, we talk all the time about trying to expand our performing radius, and our touring boundaries.
yeah, you should.
We have a lot of friends and family out on the West Coast, and it would be such a great time to go out there and beyond or wherever. So you never know. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, and like I said, Michelle, big shout out to DJ Misguided, yeah, who knows you guys, and they're
Yeah.
she's from San Francisco, and she used to live in Hawaii. She comes here, and I said, when are you coming? I'm gonna talk to the Neuro Farm.
If
Yeah.
we came out to Hawaii, we'd have to make it'd be like a combination
Yeah,
work vacation. Like we'd have to stay out
Mm-hmm.
there for a while and make the most of it,
Yeah.
right?
I know you have to be the goss who who goes to the beaches here, and for the sunrises and the sunsets, and you run home before the sun comes out. That's what I do.
We all have black umbrellas and black swim trunks, so we're ready. We're all
No, really,
ready.
that's what I do. I go in the morning to catch the sunrise, and then when the sun's coming out, maybe I'll probably experience this a little bit. When I start feeling the heat, I'm out. I'm out of there.
It's about 98 degrees here today, so it's pretty disgusting. So we take any opportunity to transport ourselves to a different climate.
Yeah, and one thing about Florida, because I know you guys mentioned about Florida. Florida has a lot of alligators. We don't have alligators here, and we don't have snakes either.
All right, we're sold. We're coming out there. We're gonna look at plane tickets later.
No, I mean, if you guys ever go to California,
We could do
like
just
one big step.
hop over there, right? Okay,
Right.
we'll do a few shows in Cali and knock it off in LA or San Diego, and then we'll hop on a plane and come over to Hawaii.
Yeah, I mean, just and then probably DJ Misguided could also be here at that same time.
Yeah.
All right, we'll line it up.
I mean, she's known to just appear here in Hawaii all of a sudden, and then I get a text message, "Hey, I'm here," and I'm like, "Oh man, I'm not there." Whatever it is, yeah. But anyway, well, great. So this album, Voices, is coming out in the fall, and around August, you said. And then, of course, if people want to check out your music, you have a website, neurofarm.com.
Yep.
And you also have a Bandcamp page. And they could check out the covers of New Dawn Phases on there too as well. And of course, you have you have Instagram and all that.
Yep, we're pretty easy to find. We're on everything: Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Yeah.
All the usual outlets.
So how do you guys find time to get together and practice when you guys have all these jobs? You guys are all working, right?
Yeah, so we've actually not even been getting together that much. Like today, we're all sitting in our basement because it's our first band practice. And then we have a Boston show in 2 weeks, and then we're going out to Cincinnati and Indianapolis. So somehow we make it work without a lot of practice.
It fluctuates, right? I mean, sometimes there are times when we've been so busy with shows that we don't have time to practice, and B, almost don't need to practice because shows are kind of compensating for that experience. And then other times, if we're in sort of writing and recording mode, that's a kind of a different mindset, where you're not practicing per se, but you are, you're in the recording mode, you're tracking parts, and sometimes which we'll do in fits and starts together in person. Other times we're sharing stuff remotely through whatever, Google Drive, Dropbox, email, whatever it is we're doing to share stuff back and forth. So I mean, we're always active, we're always interacting and communicating, or working as a band. It may not necessarily always be as a band practice or in-person sessions. Today just happens to be, as you were saying earlier, we have a couple shows coming up out of town.
Yeah.
We need to get ready for those. So here we are.
So do you guys play a lot in Washington, D.C., where you guys are?
We used to, not so much anymore.
Yeah, right now we're just mostly touring and playing other cities.
Oh, good. Yeah.
We try to play local shows rarely and leave them wanting more.
Yeah. So you guys formed in Washington, D.C., right? Yeah, just like Hawaii. Did you know that we have two bands that formed here, the goth bands, Raised in Black. There's another band that formed here. They were the same time, Soil and Eclipse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I almost threw that out there only because back, I guess it was in the very late '90s, early 2000s. A band, one of my bands was we were signed on Top International, and we were,
Yeah, exactly. That they're signed
we
up.
actually, we knew Soil and Eclipse and like played with them, like met, actually out in San Francisco.
Oh yeah, no,
That is,
I
gosh,
love them too.
it was over 2 decades ago. So that's been a while for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, those guys are great. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking that we need another new goth band here. Start something brand new. But well, thank you
Well,
so much.
we'll just relocate. We're gonna
Yeah, come
set
look.
up like a few months residency there so we can hop back and forth and we'll spend a quarter of
I
the
know, but
year.
how are they gonna come? They're scientists over there.
Okay.
Well, there's a university in Hawaii that
Oh, so you guys can work in the university. You're scientists, right?
we could, although the NIH is much better, much prefer the NIH, but we have collaborated with people from Hawaii before, so there are places for scientists.
Oh yeah. Wow, what a great career. Oh, yeah, thank you for sharing all of your your individual projects and stuff you're doing, and thank you for the great news of the new album, and I'm looking forward to it and releasing this interview, and maybe hopefully meet you guys soon.
Hope so. Thank you so much.
that
We
would
hope
be
so.
great.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much
and-
for having us.
Thank
And
you so
I'll be sure to mention the the neurofarm.com, and I'll put all the link to your sites and everything. Okay.
Thank
Thanks.
you.